how to make Harry Potter's birthday cake. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Britt and I'm the vegan food blogger behind the Banana Diaries, and today we are making Harry Potter's birthday cake. This is an entirely vegan and an option for gluten-free birthday cake that you first see in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone if you're in America, like us. It is Harry Potter's 11th birthday cake, and we are making it in honor of Harry's birthday on July 31st. If you have any Harry Potter fans in your family or your friends, then this is definitely the birthday cake to make for them. Absolutely everyone loves this cake recipe, whether or not they are vegan. Trust me, it is tried and true. This cake can be made gluten-free as well, and everyone loves it. Nobody can tell that it's gluten-free. I have a few different flour recommendations that you can use for how to make it gluten-free. But without further ado, let's begin. So to start, we're going to be making my ultimate vegan chocolate cake. Now you guys have seen me make this before, and I'm going to link the video right above in the right hand corner. But ultimately, it's a super moist and rich chocolate cake that happens to be eggless, dairy-free, and vegan. You can also make it easily gluten-free as well by using King Arthur measure for measure flour or Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour. I personally love King Arthur, and then you add a tablespoon of cornstarch, and it actually really helps to make the cake a lot more moist and less gritty. Now here I'm just adding in the cocoa powder to the wet ingredients, and this is what makes our cake super moist, is that the cake is almost made like a devil's food cake. If you guys remember that, it is so good, so rich. Look at that, that's just beautiful. And we want it to be a super rich cake too, because this is Hagrid's magical birthday cake for Harry, and it's just amazing. I mean, if Dudley can smash his face into it, then it has to taste good. Now this is also a 1 bowl vegan chocolate cake too, so that's why I'm literally just adding everything to 1 bowl, which is awesome. It just makes this birthday cake a lot easier to make. Now we're also going to be adding in hot coffee, and make sure that your coffee is truly hot, because the temperature is what helps to bloom the cocoa powder, and that's what helps to make the chocolate really come out in flavor. Along with the coffee also helps to make the chocolate really stand out. Now once your chocolate batter is made, we're going to bake it into 2 8-inch cake pans here. And then we're going to allow that to cool, and once the cakes are cool, we're going to make our buttercream. So this is just a standard vegan vanilla buttercream that we're going to tint pink and then also save a little bit for green. Now in the blog post, I detail how to make the caramel sauce, which I personally love to add into the filling, but today we're just going to make it a simple vegan chocolate cake, just like Hagrid had made for Harry, except I don't think that Hagrid's was actually vegan, but we're making it vegan here. I do recommend adding in the caramel sauce though, because it kind of tastes like butterbeer a little bit. You can also add in my toffee sauce instead, which I'll link both of those recipes down below. Both will give that kind of butterbeer-esque flavor, which I think that any Harry Potter lover is going to just freak over. It's so good. Well, here we're just using a regular standard vegan buttercream recipe, which I have on the blog, but it's simply just vegan butter, powdered sugar, and then vanilla and a little bit of dairy-free milk. You can also swap in my vegan cream cheese frosting, which is absolutely amazing, and I think that the cream cheese frosting actually really pairs well with the chocolate. It kind of gives it that red velvet-esque flavor. Now here I'm just removing a little bit of buttercream so that that's going to be our green frosting, which we're going to pipe for the lettering on our cake. And here I'm just adding in our pink vegan food coloring. So I'm using the Nomeka brand, and that is a vegan food coloring. Not all food colors are vegan, unfortunately, but Nomeka is. If you wanted to get really, really plant-based and like super natural and not as processed, you can also use beet powder. And here I'm just adding in some of Nomeka's green food coloring to the mix, and I'm just going to mix this and set it aside, and we'll fill a piping bag with this later on once we have our cake all frosted. And now it is time to frost our cake. So our cakes are completely cool, and that's super important here because we don't want our cakes to slide onto the ground, because any warmth from the cake would automatically melt the frosting. And you can use a turntable here. I find that to be the easiest, but if you don't have a turntable, don't worry. This is supposed to be kind of a messy looking cake to begin with, because Hagrid made it. He's also flying in a motorcycle to deliver it to Harry, so it's not exactly gonna stay like the smoothest, prettiest cake, which is honestly why this cake is actually so easy to make, and it's so approachable if you are a new cake decorator. So I'm just gonna frost the edges here. I like to apply a crumb coat because, you know, our cakes do get a little crumbly when they bake first. That happens with any cake, and it just helps to secure all the crumbs in there so that they don't get into the final layer of the frosting. And then after that has chilled for a few minutes, I'm going to apply the final layer of frosting, and this is where it's gonna be a little bit messier. And you don't have to worry about getting anything like super perfect because again, this is supposed to be a messy cake. You can also make the frosting a little bit pinker. I know that it is a little bit pinker in the movie. I just, you know, it's hard to match the exact color of food coloring since we're using a vegan food color, but you can definitely add in a little bit more pink here if you'd like. And once our cake is all frosted, it is time to pipe the classic Happy Birthday Harry onto the top of the cake. So whenever I make this cake, I always pull up the photo from the movie, and I actually have a whole step-by-step process in the blog post as well. But I mean, it's really just you're piping happy misspelled, birthday misspelled, and then Harry. That's the only correctly spelled thing on the cake, which is awesome. And then you have like this classic, I guess it's a line through the cake. Maybe it's from Hagrid smushing it on his way over, but there's like a line through the top of the cake, which we just actually make with a knife, and we'll just cut through the letters to give it kind of like, you know, we were maybe flying in on a motorcycle as well to deliver this to the birthday person. Now, for the birthday that you're celebrating, you can either write Happy Birthday Harry, or you could write Happy Birthday and then the person's name too to personalize it. And they'll definitely get the vibe that this is a Hagrid style birthday cake, which is awesome. And that is how you make Harry Potter's 11th birthday cake. Completely vegan and easily gluten-free too, if you'd like. All right, now that we've frosted our cake, it's time to slice into it and give it a little test bite. This is my absolute favorite chocolate cake recipe, hands down. Ooh, it is super molten, awesome. And there you have it. That is how to make Hagrid's birthday cake that he made for Harry's 11th birthday. All right, and now for the taste bite. It's so moist and fluffy, oh my gosh. Okay. That's delicious. It's super rich, really moist, but not too fudgy, still a structure. And it's the perfect balance of sweet and decadent. You just have to make this cake to celebrate Harry Potter. And you should definitely watch Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone while enjoying this cake, because why not? It's the perfect atmosphere for it. The full recipe is found down below in the description box, so just click open the arrow and it is the first link right there. And be sure to leave a rating and review so that other people know how this recipe goes. Yeah, and leave a comment down below if you've tried the recipe and if you've added the caramel sauce to the middle, because that's definitely my favorite way to make this cake. I just hope that you love it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification for more recipe videos like this, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. You're a wizard, Harry.